I'd like to open up the meeting of the Asbury Park City Council of May 27, 2015. This time I would like to do the roll call. Councilmember Clayton. Here. Councilmember Kendall.
Here.
Councilmember Warner.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. Here. Mayor Moore.
Here.
This time if we could stand for a silent prayer, a moment of reflection. Salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
From your work session of last night, I review follow-up regarding any issues addressed at the workshop. Anybody have any follow-up? If the council has nothing, I have a few items to follow up.
Well, I have not follow-ups, but matters from city council. We're not there yet.
All right, is that where we're at?
No, this is just for the follow-up
Okay.
from last night.
Okay, sorry.
All right, we had 3 or 4 issues for follow-up from last night. The first was in regards to resolution that's on this evening, 2015-213, regarding the purchase of 2 utility vehicles for public maintenance. There were questions about the type of vehicles they were, the use of the vehicles, and what it was going to include. These are 2 scooters that have been purchased. We're going to use the bodies, the dump bodies, from 2 existing Cushmans that we have currently. There was a significant savings by doing that. They're going to be used for trash pickup. It's a 4-wheel drive. They do come complete with plows. So there were questions about the plows to go with it. They are part of the purchase. And each one of these would be at $27,000 using our 2 dump bodies. Without using our 2 dump bodies, the 2 units would be approximately $32,500 each. Questions?
How long is it going to take our staff to put the dump bodies on them? I mean, if it's going to take 2 months, I got to pay.
Our staff won't be doing it. The vendor will be doing it for us.
Okay, what's the delivery date?
That I have to check.
Okay, thank you.
The second issue, regards the accurate waste system. There was a question about the contract and what the savings would have been if we would have went with this company approximately 2 years ago. Ricky Gartz has indicated to me that just for 2014, there would have been the savings of approximately $40,000. We don't have the number for 2013 as of yet. So there would have been the savings of $40,000 for 2014.
That's good enough. I said 2 years, 1 year is good enough. Thank you.
The next item, there was a question about traffic lights in the beachfront. The damaged traffic lights during Sandy, and whether or not we had put through for insurance or the FEMA claim. From the information I've gotten from the finance department, there are 2 PWs with FEMA that are approximately $68,000 for the repair and the purchase of new traffic lights. You're waiting for the approval from FEMA on these 2 PWs. They were part of the package, the PW that was put in for all of our traffic control devices, our street lights, and our parking system meters.
What was the price? I'm sorry.
For the traffic control devices, All right, it came to $68,266.
Who do we have to go to? We're going to be meeting with our senator and 2 assembly people tomorrow. Do we have to go to them and say it's been 2.5 years and we can't get FEMA money for these lights?
Well, we met this afternoon, all right, with all right, people from the State Emergency Management. All right, and they were going to attempt to expedite this. All right, we met with them, we went through our PWs with them.
Okay.
All right, we could discuss it
What's a
tomorrow.
PW?
All right, these are the purchase requisitions that go into the state.
What's it stand for?
And that's all I have.
Fred?
Well, that would be matters from the city council.
City Council.
I don't know where we're going. So.
Okay.
Okay. Joe, I'm sorry.
I just never know if we're doing review of workshop or matters from city council.
Whatever you want.
Well, I'm on matters from city council now. So just a couple of general updates, and I think we have a lot going on that you see here, but sometimes there's stuff that we're all working on behind the scenes that doesn't come to fruition right away. So just a couple of updates to kind of keep everyone up to speed. One thing is Tony has finished the preliminary city planner interviews. He had some of the council members sit in on those interviews, and Tony's narrowed it down to 2 finalists, which you'll have in next week. So we'll be moving forward, Tony will be moving forward with a new city planner. And the pieces that, I mean, that's obviously, it's a crucial piece to the city. We have all these redevelopment areas, but the pieces that are really important are the waterfront redevelopment area, the renegotiation of those amendments, we have actually a master plan that needs to be rewritten for 2016, and then, of course, Springwood Avenue to make sure that we continue to move forward on projects there. Those would be the things that are front and center for the new planner. To follow up on some of the rec program, things that have been expanded, we are working with the Art Tank to do at least a small summer. A lot of these new programs for rec would be pilot programs, so see how they go this year and hopefully build on their success and expand them moving forward. So working with the Art Tank to do an art program, working with the urban farming over at Interfaith to do some type of gardening, and then possibly working with the farmer markets to sell whatever produce the kids would produce. Music at the Lake House, the junior lifeguard program will be, we actually have a group that's going to be enrolled in it this year, so it'll be more than just kind of in name only. And then we're looking, so this is a call out, we're looking for someone who'd be interested in doing a fishing program that would be run through the DEP. You would go through a training, and then you would get the equipment, like $2,000 worth of equipment, and then you run the program through the city. And we're in the process of trying to find an instructor for that for training in late July, early August. And then there's been preliminary discussions at the Rec Commission about a skate park in the city. There's a group of people very interested. There seems to be some interest on all sides of town, and we're looking into that. An update regarding code, not the city code, but code and quality of life. One of the first issues that came in front of us was an overhaul of the CO program. There was a proposal to do CO inspections every year. There were some questions about that. There has been some development on that. I believe that Rob will be coming next meeting for a workshop presentation where we can have like seems like we can have a tiered system so that if you were to do the whole city at once, the properties that failed in a certain percentage would fall into a more recent or a more regular checking, whereas the other ones would opt out because they had a complete compliance with all of our code issues. So it seems like there's a middle ground to that, which is good. 2 other things that are under negotiation, but they're things that I think we can just give a brief update. We've been working with our legal staff to make sure that the Savoy Theater downtown those negotiations are moving forward. And we are also had a preliminary conversation with iStar about the hotel and potentially trying to set up a meeting to coordinate the jobs that will be available at the hotel with some workforce training in the city. So recreation, code, workforce development, and the planner and the Savoy were my updates.
Just an update from the Quality of Life Code Committee. There is a plan, and the Asbury Park students are working on an art contest for the logo for Pride in the Park. Pride in the Park is going to be a citywide, let's clean up the city, let's make it more attractive. There's going to be we're putting together a video for APTV by our students talking about recycling and making it fun, but what do we recycle and how can we recycle? We've discovered that Asbury Park has one of the lowest recycling percentages in the state. And if we can increase our recycling, it will save us money because we don't have to use landfill as often. So that's one project. Another project is involving the Asbury Park businesses in cleaning up in front of your sidewalk. So there are going to be a creation of 3 Pride in the Park zones in the city. Also, I've been working with DPW to increase the number of streets that will be cleaned on a regular basis. So we're looking at adding a few more streets on both the east and the west side. They have not been identified yet, but when we have identified them, we'll come back and talk to you further about that. On last Saturday, there was a seminar here in the City Council chambers, and it was regarding the RCA program. The attendance was light, but there were people here, and the RCA program is still in effect. So if anyone is in need of home repairs, please contact us and we can see what we can do. The money is free.
APTV taped that too, Yvonne, right? So
Yes,
you
they
could catch it
did.
online.
There are some caveats, but please contact us and we'll see what we can do to assist you. And there is going to be a program distributing free smoke alarms to residents. As soon as we have a date, we will again alert you to that date. And the advantage is this is going to be a program in conjunction with the Asbury Park Fire Department. And the firemen will actually install the fire detectors at that time. And last is we're also looking to find grants to enable us to put new trash receptacles throughout the city, both for residential services and for the business district. And that's it. Thank you.
Yes, I'm next. I just want to comment on a few things that have been happening to me since I've been in council. I've been receiving after every council meeting, I've been receiving about 3 to 4, sometimes 5 or 6 telephone calls. And I don't really have the time to really sit down and talk to people like I would like to. And I think a lot of people think they know me, but they really don't know me. So I just put something briefly together, and I won't take too much of your time. I like to respond to telephone calls I've been getting for the last council meetings, for every council meetings. And they say this, Kendall, you need to step up and do more talking. Okay. My response to this is when I was younger and playing sports, I used to love for 40 or 50,000 people calling my name out. That's because I had a big ego. I thought I had it all. I thought I had it made. But I found out that you got to sometimes just stop and look at what's happening around you Another thing I noticed that you have to study the situation before you speak on it. And I also learned that you have to listen. Then you can respond to what you 9 to 10 times you'll be right. So I'd just like to thank the people that have this concern, and I'd like for you to know that I'm not mad at you, but ease up on the calls, and I think you have a better understanding of me now. Thank you.
I get the same calls that say, Amy, you talk too much at the meetings, So I'm also going to piggyback on what Joe and Yvonne did, which was just kind of update everybody on some of the things going on in Asbury Park that may not be on the forefront, but that are behind the scenes. I'm going to first do a shout out to APTV, who's trying to diversify their programming. So we had somebody taping the RCA meeting, so even if you didn't get to it, you can go online and review how and whether or not you qualify for funding to get funding to update your house. We did a video on the galleries and who all opened within the last couple of weeks, an interview with the artist. We did an interview at Kula Cafe with the nonprofit Kids, which highlighted a number of really talented kids in town. And we did a third, which was we highlighted the 2 of the 3 debate team captains. The debate team's gone on to win a number of awards in New Jersey and New York in their competition. So that isn't out yet. It should be out in a couple of days. But I want to give a huge kudos to APTV for putting a relationship with the school board and the superintendent, and a fantastic superintendent who loves the idea of APTV highlighting Asbury Park kids. So yeah, I agree. So what AP has planned for the future is to try to highlight Asbury Park kids on a monthly basis and turn that into some regular programming for 2015. So here are my updates. To piggyback on what Joe's saying about the vacancies and how we're handling them in the 4 or 5 months we've been in office, I think we're doing them different than any previous council. And what we do is I'm going to use Cindy as an example, if you don't mind, because we've already hired her, so I'm not violating any sort of confidentiality. But we convene a personnel committee, and that personnel committee has 2 members of the city council and Tony Nuccio, sometimes a city worker. In that circumstance, it was Melody, who'd been acting as the acting city clerk. And we reviewed well over 50 or 60 applications for the clerk. We narrowed those down. We then Google everybody, check LinkedIn, make sure everybody's telling the truth on their resume, and check references. Then we have our top, let's say 8 to 10, depending on what the pool is, come in, and the personnel committee, Tony, and then in this circumstance it was Melody, interview the candidates, narrow it down to 2 or 3 candidates, and then we bring them before the council, because in the example I'm using is the city clerk is actually appointed by the city council, so that is our role. So I know there's a concern about vacancies. I can assure you that we're working as fast as we can, but also being as diligent as humanly possible, and coordinating 2 council members' schedule on an already busy schedule with whoever the applicants are, many of which who have jobs, Tony, and then Melody. That is just one example of why it may take a month to 6 weeks to actually get through all the applicants, go through all the research, and then you have to wait to bring them in front of the council for those meetings. So we hired a city clerk who we're thrilled with. We've done the same with city planner. We went through the applications for city planner. We convened a personnel committee. On the personnel committee, there's always one person from the city council who's in every meeting, and then one that rotates. So for example, using the city clerk, I think I was the person in all the city clerk meetings, and then Joe, Yvonne, and John rotated and did it that way. City planner, Joe was in all the meetings with Tony, and then we rotate another council member in to get different perspectives. We narrow it down, we research them, they come in, and ultimately with the city planner, Tony makes the recommendation on who we hire. So I say all that to say we're working on filling these positions, but what's a lot more important to us than just filling a position to fill a position, is to fill a position with people who we think are really going to be dynamic in that position. And so sometimes that takes a little longer than expected. Having said that, the city manager search is on. We will probably take a similar way that we've done it before, which is we'll convene a personnel committee. Tony will be on it. We will coordinate schedules. We will research these people, and then we will bring the final candidates in front of the council. Tony ultimately will make that decision. The search.
Council makes this.
Council makes the city manager decision. So essentially, once the search comes in, we narrow them down. Part of the process is done with the headhunter doing the search, so it's not as bad as, say, city clerk or city planner in terms of what falls on us. But just so you understand the process, there's a search going on, and we're hoping to have a city manager as soon as humanly possible. All right. No. Okay, absences on the board. So I'm getting a number of calls about either zoning or, I don't think any of us have missed a meeting, but I think zoning and planning have absences on the board or alternates that are not showing up. There is a statutory requirement that you attend these meetings. We are going to start enforcing that. If you don't attend these meetings or have, and Nancy, I think Nancy from Coded Systems sending me the statutory requirement. We're going to enforce that now. If you do not attend the number of meetings you are required to, you're going to be removed from the board. The reason being is we can't have delays in projects moving forward in Asbury Park. I want to thank Arnold, who left as a member of the Environment and Shade Tree Commission. He donated all of the labor for the fence. We only had to pay for the fence out front for the community garden. And for those of you that don't know, 8 of the community garden beds are for the high school students. So we are teaching high school students how to garden, how to grow vegetables, and then obviously they're taking them home. So 8 of the beds closest to the railroad tracks are Asbury Park High School students, along with the Environment and Shade Tree Commission. And is that all of my stuff? I think that's it.
You sure?
Well, I have one, I don't know, I mean, I have a little bit of a problem with one of the things on the city council agenda.
No.
Okay, well, that's why people tell me to,
Okay.
done.
I have nothing to add.
Anybody else?
That's it.
All right. I have nothing.
And I have nothing.
All right, can I have a motion to close the work session?
Move it.
Second.
Go right into council.
All in favor?
All right.